Mr. President, I spent 11 precious years of my life in the jail of a white Englishman whose freedom and well-being I assured and protected from the first day of Zimbabwe's independence, and that was Ian Smith. I lost a further 15 years fighting white injustice in my country. Ian Smith was responsible for the death of well over 50,000 of my people. I bear scars of his tyranny, which Britain and America condoned. I meet his victims every day, yet he walks free today. He farms freely, has a farm of over 500 hectares. He talks freely, associates freely under our black government. We taught him democracy. We gave him back his humanity. He would have faced a different fate here and in Europe if the 50,000 he killed had been Europeans. Africa has not called for a Nuremberg trial against the white world, which committed heinous crimes against its own humanity. It has not hunted perpetrators of this genocide, many of whom live to this day, nor has it got reparations from those who offended against it. Instead, it is Africa which is in the dock. It is Mugabe and not the British Prime Minister who is in the dock, facing trial from the same world that persecuted us for centuries. Let Mr. Bush read history correctly. Let him realize that both personally and in his representative capacity as the current President of the United States, he stands for this civilization which occupied, which colonized, which incarcerated, which killed. He has much to atone for and very little to lecture us on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. His hands drip with innocent blood of many nationalities, and today with the blood of the Iraqis. But he still kills. He kills in Iraq, he kills in Afghanistan, and this is supposed to be our master on human rights. He imprisons and tortures at Guantanamo. He imprisoned and tortures at Abu Ghraib. He has secret torture chambers in Europe. Yes, he imprisons even here in the United States, with his jails today carrying more blacks than his universities can ever enroll. He even suspends the provisions of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights. Take Guantanamo, for example. At that concentration camp, international law does not apply. The national laws of the people there do not apply. Laws of the United States of America do not apply. Only Bush's law applies. Can the international community accept being lectured by this man on the provisions of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? Definitely not. Mr. President, we are alarmed that under his leadership, basic rights of his own people and those of the rest of the world have summarily been rolled back. America is primarily responsible for rewriting core tenets of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We seem all guilty for 9/11. Mr. Bush thinks he stands above all structures of governance, whether national or international. At home, he apparently does not need the Congress. He defies it. Abroad, he does not need the United Nations. It has not needed international law and opinion. I'll go, he said, to Iraq with or without the United Nations. That is, with or without international law, in defiance of it. This forum did not sanction Blair and Bush's misadventures in Iraq. Did we say yes to it? Did we say yes to the attack of Iraq? The two rode roughshod over the United Nations and international opinion. Almighty Bush, perhaps some might regard him as their God. No, he is not my God. I have but one God. He is in heaven. Pater Noster, quies in celis. Indeed, he wants us to pray him. We say no to him and encourage him to get out of Iraq. Indeed, he should mend his ways before he clambers up the pulpit to deliver pieties of democracy. Is he qualified to speak of democracy? Is he qualified to speak of human rights when he's shedding blood every day? Mr. President, the British and the Americans have gone on a relentless campaign of destabilizing and vilifying my country. They have sponsored surrogate forces to challenge lawful authority in my country. They seek regime change. They seek regime change. Not my people, but they think they are entitled to change governments, placing themselves in the role of the Zimbabwean people, in whose collective will democracy places the right to define and change regimes. And they want to talk of democracy when they are behaving that way. Let these sinister governments be told here and now that Zimbabwe will not allow a regime change authored by outsiders. We do not interfere with their own systems in America and Britain, where they steal elections as he did during his first election. We do not interfere. Mr. Bush and Mr. Brown have no role to play in our own national affairs. They are outsiders and mischievous outsiders, and should therefore keep out. The colonial sun set a long time ago in Africa, in 1980 in the case of Zimbabwe, and hence Zimbabwe will never be a colony again, never ever.